Okay, we are trying this one more time. I tweaked some settings. My CPU looks okay, so that's probably not the issue. Let me check on my end how it's looking. Oh, look, someone's live. And still not good. Oh, maybe. Okay. We may have something here. We may be doable here. Okay. Hello. This might just work. Okay, good. Sorry, I just wanted to double check that my audio was working. Okay, so let me start from the top, I guess, and it disconnects. Oh, reconnects. We are not out of the wood, folks, but we're just gonna keep hoping. I don't know what else to do but hope. So I'm gonna keep an eye on it. Frame drops look fine, as in not happening. And so yeah, here we go. I want to test chat real quick. Let's see what happens. Just wanted to see if it'll appear on screen. This section over here is supposed to be for chat, but it's a new widget. So the disclaimer is that, in case it's not apparent, I am new to streaming and I am learning, and it frustrates me that I don't know any way to test a lot of this stuff without actually being live. So we are actually live. And yeah, we'll see if any of my overlays and widgets and things work. It's not looking promising for chat so far, but at this point I'm afraid to mess with anything. So we might just roll with it. So, hi. We're gonna make a Pokemon tier list today. So, I assume most people here might be familiar with me. If you're not, I am a content creator based around Pokemon almost exclusively. And so when you work as much with Pokemon as I do, it is not at all uncommon to receive the question, what's your favorite Pokemon? And I never have a good answer. I have a few defaults that I just kind of fall back on. So they will get high ranking in this list. We're talking about Jirachi and Buizel. Those are the two that oh, and Wooper, Clodsire. Those are the ones that come to mind when people ask me my favorite. But there's so many Pokemon now that I answer the question and I'm like, you don't really care enough that it matters, so it's okay if this isn't the exact true answer, but I need to know for my own peace of mind what the exact true answer is, because there are over 1,000 Pokemon now. And I know that I really like Jirachi and Buizel, but they might not be my favorite. So we're going to go through every Pokemon and pick a favorite. So some ground rules, I guess. I personally, I'm not going to consider, what's the word I'm looking for? Mega forms, or like Gigantamax, VMAX's cards, Gigamax. I don't consider those separate Pokemon, so I'm probably just going to ignore those, even though they are in the list here. They've got those added, so I'll just ignore those. But I do consider regional variants different, so we will separately rank Galarians and Alolans and things like that. And everything is pretty well just based on the vibes. I don't have any strict criteria for this. It's just how I feel about a Pokemon, and that could be from any number of reasons. I never got very into the competitive side of Pokemon, so it's unlikely that Pokemon will be ranked very influenced by actual stats or battle potential or anything like that. More likely it's going to be a little bit on, aesthetics. I like cute Pokemon. That's my thing. As well as, oh gosh, anything. Like if they had a really interesting Pokedex entry, or if I just think they're goofy, or if, maybe in the anime they had a really fun personality that stuck with me, or maybe I just really liked the cry that Kingler had in Pokemon Puzzle League, and that'll get him points in my book. I don't know. We're just gonna find out, and we're gonna go with it. So we'll see how many we can get through. I don't know how long this might take, but we're just gonna go for it. Now, we're starting strong here. They go in order, and the Kanto starters, that's a contentious one amongst the fan base. So, get ready, y'all, because I have some takes, I guess. The way that I see this working is that there's going to be anything S tier is something that I think is like seriously a runner, like a potential favorite Pokemon, and you know, A is just really good, but I don't think it's quite there, and so we might see some stuff getting like pushed around and demoted from S into A. B and C are going to be a lot of Pokemon that, like, I'm sure they're perfectly good Pokemon, I just don't care that much. And then D is for the few Pokemon that I truly don't like. And there's not going to be a ton of those, I don't think, but there are some designs that I don't care for, and that is what D tier is here for. So, to be clear, these are my opinions. If you're in chat, you're welcome to try and sway my opinion. It's very possible, if you remind me of certain instances, that you might get a Pokemon bumped up a tier. But there's some that you just aren't going to be able to change my mind on. And all the B Pokemon are going to be excellent Pokemon. I'm going to like them a lot. They're just not going to be good enough. And this is where we start off with a Bulbasaur in B tier. I like Bulbasaur. I do. He's fun and he's cute, and I played Pokemon Yellow, so he was technically my starter, one of my starters. I've just never really cared much about like Ivysaur and Venusaur. I've just never liked all that much. I don't know what to tell you. Is there a way to just like get rid of you? These are the forms that I wonder if there might be a toggle for them, but woo, fun. No, I don't see a setting for getting rid of the forms, so we'll just ignore them on our own. Charmander, I think I like better than Bulbasaur, but still not as much as the world does. Charmeleon's fine. Charizard is also just like fine. And this is probably the hottest take I have yet, because I know Charizard is like routinely an absolute fan favorite. It's cool that it gets forms. I think this one, it gets influenced a little bit by like it's so popular that it makes me need to pull back on how much I like it, just to, you know, balance, put Charizard in its place a little bit, because it's getting too much ego. I do like X though. Mega X is pretty cool. That it gets its shiny colors, that it gets to finally be a dragon. Like, there's good stuff going on there. And I said I wasn't gonna rank Megas, but if I did, Mega Charizard X would be an A tier. But I'm not gonna break that rule already. That just kind of factors into Charizard's overall ranking, how much I like the Mega form. So that may come up again. Squirtle. Squirtle is my dude. And this is like my first tricky one between S and A. And I think I'm gonna leave it at, well, I might bump it to S because I like Squirtle a lot. Now, we're gonna end up with a lot of S tier Pokemon, I think, because there are a lot that I like a lot. And I don't think that I could ever be a person loving Pokemon as much as I do who says that my favorite is a Kanto starter, because it's just too basic. It doesn't belay the utter depth of knowledge and adoration that I have to say that my very favorite Pokemon is something that everyone in the world has heard of. You know, it's like saying Pikachu. It's like, it's not even. Are you even a real fan? You know. So we'll see where Squirtle ends up. For now, I'll leave him in S. I like Wartortle a lot. It's almost my favorite of the line. Um, but, you know, as Captain Steel points out in chat, which is not showing up on stream, unfortunately, but, like, the Squirtle Squad does give him an edge for sure, because that was really cool. Now, I think there may have been a Wartortle in the gang at some point, but I'm going to leave him at now. And Blastoise is actually high B, I think. Obviously, this is my favorite line, but Blastoise is my least favorite of the line. Yeah, so I guess you're gonna start to see this pattern real quick, but my favorite type is water. Water and fairy are probably gonna be pretty highly ranked just in general. And following that would be like maybe poison and dark. So I'm sure we'll see some of that bias coming through. Caterpie, I don't care enough about Caterpie. Like, it'll be a B tier. Metapods goes C. I like Butterfree a fair bit. Yeah, it's probably like higher B tier. I don't care about these bugs. I really don't care about Pidgey. Got another error popping up. I don't know why though. That's frustrating to figure out. Well, I guess let me know if anything freezes. It seems okay maybe on my end. No, it's buffery. I don't know why. But I'm just gonna keep going because that time it cleared up. So we're gonna push through as best we can. Alolan Rattata is cooler than Rattata by a little bit. It's not purple, but it is a dark type. We're gonna put it up with Bulbasaur. And megas don't count. Yeah, I don't really care about any of these birds. I do kind of like his chubby cheeks. Don't care about that. Don't care about that. Fearow, I'm gonna put my first D tier right here. Fearow is a jerk. And he's kind of ugly with his scrawny little neck and his crazy head floop. I don't like Fearow, so there you go. First D tier. Ekans, on the other hand, is pretty cool. Cooler than Arbok. So I think I might put Ekans up in B. Yeah. There's fine. Arbok will just be high C. I like Rattata better than Ivysaur. Probably. I think I'm being a little bit nitpickier than I need to be about the levels of my C. If it's in C tier, that basically just means it doesn't matter. So I probably shouldn't organize quite as much as I am, but alas, here we are. And now we're on to a tricky one. This is Pikachu. The Pokemon mascot. And this is a hard one. I think it's definitely got to be a solid A. Pikachu definitely suffers a little bit from that feeling of like, it's just too popular and it doesn't need my support. So I'm tempted to withhold that support a little bit because it's got enough of its own followers. My love belongs with other Pokemon who crave it more. But Pikachu has done so much. Pikachu in the anime is a rock star. And not like when I say that, I'm not thinking about how OP it was for no reason whatsoever, but like any episode where Togepi was getting into trouble and Pikachu was just always right there saving him, and then often getting blamed for the trouble. Like, he was just always looking out for the other Pokemon, like such a bro. And then there's just tons of games too, right? Like, Pikachu gets to do all the fun stuff in Pokemon Snap, and Pikachu was the star of Hey You, Pikachu. So that's good. He was pretty jokes in Pokemon Channel. Like, he's just done so much that there's too much there to not love. So Pikachu definitely deserves an A. That being said, Raichu gets a higher A. And Alolan Raichu, like, I'm so torn which of the two Raichus I like best. This is a really hard one for me. I really like standard Raichu, but the fact that Alolan is a surfer, I'm actually wearing an Alolan Raichu shirt at the moment. So I knew that he was going to have to go up high. And in fact, I'm going to put him S for now. For now, we're gonna put that there. Now Sandslash and Sandshrew, these ones are also really up there for me. This is just gonna get so hard. There's too many Pokemon I like. I think I like... Ice types are cool, but I think I like Kanto better. And I'm gonna put them high B. Maybe, yeah. We'll go above Blastoise. We'll get Impulsive up in here. And yeah. Yeah. Nidoran, I don't really care. That line doesn't matter to me. Nidoran male, I still don't care. Nidoking, and this is going to be anecdote time. I'm going to put Nidoking in B tier, which is still not super high, because as a Pokemon, as a design, I don't love him lots. Oh wow, Charmander's so down on the list now. But when I was itty bitty, my very first time playing any Pokemon game was Pokemon Yellow, and I think I was 4. I might have been 5. And I was traded a Nidoking. I don't even remember where I got it. Like, I can only think it must have been from my sister maybe, but I don't remember actually receiving the Nidoking. I just know I had one, and it was very high level. And it wouldn't listen to me because I didn't have enough badges, but I was 4, and I just saw that it was powerful, so it was the only Pokemon I used, and it would ignore every command, and it would use what it wanted, or it would loaf around, and it was not at all useful, but it was still the only Pokemon I would use, and that memory is enough for me to give Nidoking a high B tier. Okay, Clefairy is another good one, and I was always fond of Clefairy from the anime and from plushies I had and from Pokemon Stadium. Okay, Pokemon Stadium means Clefairy gets A tier. That's it. I talked myself into it. Clefable, it's good, but I like it less, I think. I will say that I watched a Pokemon Let's Go playthrough by Steven Plays. Steven and Mal played it, and Mal had a really powerful Clefable that definitely helped my opinion of Clefable. And you know what? In that same playthrough, she had a really cool Ninetales. And I do like Alolan Ninetales because it's a fairy, and fairies are the best. I think it's better than Vulpix. But we're gonna put Vulpix in low B because it's still pretty good. Yeah, regular Ninetales. You might notice like I'm very biased towards water types. I don't have a lot of strong opinions that are positive towards fire types. They're fine. I don't hold it against them. I just don't care. Okay. These two. I actually like Wigglytuff best. Wigglytuff and its double slap. Oh yeah. Um, in fact, Jigglypuff I think might actually be really top B. Wigglypuff down, Jigglypuff and Wigglytuff being a low A. Does this ranking seem correct? No, I think these two should be moved up. Yeah. Yeah, I really like these ones. Fairies are great. Wigglytuff is one of my go-tos in Pokemon Go. If I'm going to be fighting in the Great League, I love using my Wigglytuff. Fairies are great. He had a really good episode in the anime when he was in a movie. She was in a movie with Psyduck, and she was such a sassy little actress. Oh, that was one of my favorite episodes. Go West, Young Meowth, maybe? If I'm not getting mixed up, because it was like a Hollywood reference. Anyways, Zubat's terrible, but it's cute. And I like bats a lot, and it gets a lot of good accessories. So I'm actually going to put Zubat pretty high up. Like in Pokemon Go, you can get a really cute headband and a backpack that I still plan to make myself one day, because the design of Zubat is just really good, even though the implementation of Zubat is really terrible. Golbat does not have that, and in fact, I was not good at the Golbat minigame in Pokemon Stadium, so it does not get the same favor that Zubat does. And actually, I'm gonna put all the way up to like a low B, maybe. Yeah. Okay. These are a tricky one. Because I like them, but I probably don't like them enough for them to matter. Oddish is pretty cute. You can go here. Gloom I actually like because it's misunderstood. Sad, stinky perfume Pokemon. And Vileplume's actually really... I like Vileplume. And I'm gonna put it somewhere here. Paris is meh. Parasect is meh. Venonat I like a lot because it was Tracy's Pokemon more than anything, and because it's bigger than I thought. So sometimes I'm gonna have opinions based around like my plans to crochet a Pokemon, or if I have actually crocheted a Pokemon, that definitely could make it more favorable in my opinion. As soon as I take the time to like sit and study a Pokemon's design and read through its Pokedex entry and figure out its size and stuff like that, it's just going to make me like it more because I've paid so much attention to it. And Venonat was one of those Pokemon I think I will make one of these days. And it's big. It's bigger than I thought it was. And I think that's going to be... It's like the same size as a Voltorb, maybe? Which is not huge, but still, it's going to be a fun one. Venonat, I don't care about. The Digletts. Okay. So these are all similar. Diglett and Dugtrio I like because I have put in the time to research them. So Diglett was the smallest Pokemon for the first 4 generations, and then 5 gave us Joltik, which is actually smaller than a Diglett. So that fun fact was fun, and I got to make it, and it was the smallest Pokemon. I think I have one. Yeah, there's a Diglett up on my shelf. And then I figured out how big Dugtrio was, which was like mind-blowing, and then that led me to the whole rabbit hole of like looking at the old Pokemon Stadium games and figuring out that the Ekans Hooperl was with Dugtrios and not Digletts. Like it's just, I've got a whole thing with them now. And knowing that much just makes me like them. But I don't think I can say that I like them more than a lot of these Pokemon. And I don't know which one of them I like more than the other. These guys are goofy. But I have to like this one a lot because of how goofy it is. But it's hard. It's hard to rank a Pokemon that you like purely for the memes and to laugh at it against Pokemon that you like for other reasons. But it's so funny. um, Meowths. We got a bunch of them. I don't love Galarian, or sorry, Alolan Meowth. I like Galarian Meowth better. He's all angry and made of claws. Regular Meowth, probably best of all. I don't know. It goes somewhere in here. Like, it's mid B. This one's kind of like Raticate. It's really funny because it's got a really puffy face. But that's about all it's got going for it. As my tier list grows, this is shrinking. That's unfortunate. Yeah. These I still don't care about. And Persian is just such a kitty. Like, it's really truly a kitty. More than Meowth is. And I like that. So it's gonna be like, I don't know, somewhere up there too. Golduck is another one that I don't like. Not quite D tier, but like bottom C. There's just something about it. It's so pointy and mean, and the gem on its head is just weird to me. So my sweet little dopey Psyduck, that is an excellent duck. And then it evolves. Evolving ruins so many Pokemon. Mankey is also mean, but he's kind of cute, so I got, he can go like here. Primate's mean and ugly, so he goes down here. Growly is a good boy. Growly I like a lot. So many megas to move. Surely there must have been a setting for this somewhere. Because I think at some point I'm also going to need to like sweep my B and C columns. There's just too many Pokemon, so if I'm actually going to keep placing them, I am going to need to remove them at some point. But I need like a garbage bin. I need this website to have somewhere where I can just like delete them. I don't suppose delete would work. No. Okay, well, anyways. Growlithe is an excellent puppy who belongs somewhere high up, probably right about there. Growly in particular being James's Growlithe, one of the best iterations of Growlithe, and always helping out Officer Jenny and just being an all-around floofy boy. Arcanine, also pretty good, but slightly less cute. Doesn't get bonus points for being big and tough, I don't think. Poliwag is cute. Poliwag I enjoy. Poliwag is B. Poliwrath is C. Like, Poliwrath is almost D. I don't like Poliwrath either. Poliwhirl is fine. He's goofy. Abra. Meh. He teleports away from you. It's annoying. Kadabra is my favorite of the line. Alakazam. Meh. Okay, so a lot of the problems I have with Pokemon are fighting types. I tend to not like fighting types, and I think it's because it icks me out that they've got these like bulging muscles. It's just weird. I don't know. I don't know why he needs 4 arms. I actually don't like Machamp. it gets some points, I guess, for being a good fighting type. Oh, underutilizing D tier. Captain thinks I'm not D tiering enough stuff. I could D tier more stuff. It just feels mean. It's the mean tier. But there we go. We got a second one. I don't have strong feelings about the Bellsprouts. They're fine. Tentacool and Tentacruel I like a lot though. They are water poison, which is excellent typing. They are jellyfish, I assume. I think they're like squid jellyfish. But Tentacruel was also the very first shiny I ever caught in a main series game. I got my shiny Tentacruel in Pokemon Leaf Green, I think. And it was exciting and thrilling. And so I like Tentacruel better than Tentacool, but he's like still cool. Alolan Geodude? Dare I D tier it? I don't like Geodude. He's another one of those creepy Pokemon that he's just got too many muscles, but they're scrawny muscles, and also he's a rock, and then he becomes an electric rock, and I never remember that typing. Graveler too, like, Golem's cooler. I would actually put like maybe high C for Golem. Golem Alolan is also kind of cool because he's got a funny face and he shoots like a cannon now. He reminds me of like the old carnival cannon lady from Futurama or something. Like, I don't know. He's just got interesting vibes. Ponyta is cute and has a really good shiny, so it gets points for that. This one is made out of cotton candy and is basically a My Little Pony. This one's basically Princess Celestia, but there's something I don't like about her. Something about it seems off. And yeah, I don't care about Rapidash much. Somewhere C tier. We're into the Slowpokes and Slowbros. And these guys are great. So good. Maybe even my next A tier. But I have to decide. Now to me, like this form, the Alolan, it like barely changes. They're the same Pokemon in my mind. So I don't even know how to rank them. I think Slowpoke probably goes A. And Slowbro, what the heck? A is also underutilized. So let's spread this a little bit. In fact, why isn't Tentacruel just in A tier? Look at that. Yeah, I guess they have to be side by side because they're the same Pokemon. His Mega is also funny to me. I like that Mega form, even though I said I'm not ranking them. Magnemite. There's a little bit of story there because that's another one that I tried to make and then tried to figure out how big it was, and there's one day when I finally finish that project, there's actually going to be a little bit of a video talking about trying to figure out how big Magnemite is and the different ways you can interpret. But I don't think that's enough to get him out of C. Farfetch'd, kind of funny that he walks around with a leek, like to stew himself. But not funny enough. Do I want to put him D? Eh. Let me just... Sorry, just looking for my widget. Just trying to keep an eye on the stream stats, that's all. Okay. Oh, I never actually placed Galarian Slowbro. I don't think about him often. I forget that it exists, which means it can't be as high up as the others. But he's fine somewhere in B. Seal and Dugong. These are good ones. These are good ones. I don't know, like, should I even go A tier for Seal? I think I will, because when I was in university I was part of a club, and I don't really know why, but they decided that they were going to draw all the club members, but more specifically they were going to draw them as Pokemon. And so I was a Seal. And I cannot place myself below an A tier. No way. Dugong pretty good, but not as good. Grimer. I like the raviness. I like the green. I like the sludge color. Regular Grimer I actually kind of like, because he's a pile of sludge and I like poison types. But, like, not tons. I like Muck better than Grimer. Muck would maybe be high B, but I don't know. I guess we'll put him above Jigglypuff. He'll be top B for now. This Muck is funny, and part of me wants to like it more, but I don't. I like he's got crazy colors, but he just doesn't have the spot in my heart. Okay, let me scroll down here, because we got a bunch of megas looking me in the face again that I'm just moving down. Do 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 do. Alright, here we go. Now we're getting into fresh Pokemon again. And I'm going to get rid of these forms while I'm at it. I didn't know Kingler had a Gigantamax. And okay, now that's everybody until we get into Johto. We're all clear. Okay. Shellder and Cloyster don't matter to me. I just don't. Cloyster I'll bump up to B, just because it was one of Lorelei's Pokemon in Puzzle League, and it was one of those funny sound kind of Pokemon. And while I'm on that train of thought, Kingler. Kingler gets status for Pokemon Go, or for Pokemon Puzzle League, but this is one of those ones where I'm trying to compare that reasoning against other reasoning. I think Kingler just gets solid B, when it normally would not have. So Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar. More fan favorites, and these ones I do appreciate. These ones I can get behind. And I don't know how to pick my favorite. Actually, I do. My favorite is Haunter. Haunter is A tier. Gengar. Like, Ghastly is just high B. I don't know where. There's fine. Gengar. I think what happens is Gengar is A tier, but I need to bump a few A's up into S maybe. Which of these could I say is my favorite Pokemon? Like, I think maybe Haunter goes all the way to S. Would I ever say any of the rest of these are my favorite? Oh, probably not. I don't know. Maybe Tentacruel. We're gonna bump him to S for now. We can move Pokemon back down if we need to. It's funny, I'm just trying to go a little bit quickly because we have so many to get through. So I'm just placing things where I feel like they go. And then I re-look at it and I'm like, I already disagree with myself from 40 seconds ago. Onyx. Pretty low. Don't care about Onyx. I don't dislike him. I actually dislike Drowsy and Hypno. These are weird Pokemon. These are kind of creepy Pokemon. And, yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Krabby, I'm indifferent. Voltorb and Electrode. I give a couple points. Like, maybe I'll bump them up to B for having interesting lore. Being haunted Pokeballs. Electrode is one of the hardest to find TCG. Like the card by Asaka Ito, the crocheted Electrode. That one's hard to come by. That's a rare card, so that puts Electrode in a desirable status bracket, you know? Okay, Execute. Dare I D them? They're also weird, and the fact that one's cracked open makes me kind of uncomfortable. Let's go to the D tier. But Alolan Exeggutor. Oh, scroll that one up to A tier. Because Tallboy is a good boy. He's a dragon, he's a palm tree, he's so tall that he doesn't show up on screen. Like, and when you're playing Pokemon Go, he's just cut off. It's really funny to me. He's a good one. So straight to A for him. Tallboy S tier captain, I don't know. Is he my favorite Pokemon? That just sounds like I'd be stealing your favorite Pokemon if that's what I told people. But regular Exeggutor stinks. He's chubby. Like, he's still a palm tree, but he's not. Cubone is cute, and Cubone is sad. I have conflicting feelings about Cubone. I'm gonna put him mid-B. Alolan Marowak, also pretty cool, pretty B, because he's kind of got that, like, flame staff thing going on, which is a really cool prop. Regular Marowak, meh. Lickitung might also be S tier. Lickitung's like high A, maybe S. And I'm gonna put him in S for now. Lickitung's just so funny. He's goofy, and I'm kind of a sucker for things that have like those crazy extendo tongues, which technically Gengar has as well, but I don't know, it's just funny, and the fact that it's, 3 times the length of its body, like, that's so much tongue. And he's cute, and he's pink, and he's squishy. Fighting types again. Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan are pretty mid to me. They're fine. I like Coughing. I'll put him low B. Galarian Wheezing is hilarious. So I think I'll put him, like, he goes with Alolan Dugtrio. They have the same vibes. Regular Wheezing. With Arbok. There you go. That's fitting. I'll put him with Arbok. Rhyhorn and Rhydon, I also don't care for a lot. But, like, I don't think about them a lot. They're not D. They're just gonna be C tiers. Chansey's good. Chansey's high B, but not quite A in my books. Tangela is another really goofy one because we don't know what it looks like. And I did do some projects based off Tangela in school and stuff like that, but Whoa. Look at that. You can move tiers around. That's so silly. Kangaskhan. This is another hard one. Because baby Kangaskhan is the best. So when you look at like Mega Kangaskhan, I love it. Regular Kangaskhan is a little bit boring. Normal type. So I'm gonna just put it in B. Horsey's a cutie. Anything that was on Misty's team in the first season of the anime definitely has a bit of a soft spot in my heart. I like Horsey, and I think I'm just gonna put it really high B. Like, yeah, with Jigglypuff. Seadra I like less. Goldeen is alongside, like, despite being part of Misty's team, Goldeen looks like it thinks it's better than me. It's kind of a prissy fish. So it's just gonna stay in C. But Seeking I've always liked for some reason. So Seeking goes like high B. Staryu, I'll put low B. Just because a friend of mine really loves them. I've never cared a lot, but they are water types, and Starmie's gonna go a little bit higher in B, I guess. The mimes. The mimes are a tricky one. I want to like, it's Galarian, right? The icy one. I want to like Galarian mime just because it's blue and it's icy and I like those, but there's something creepy about it. Like, it's very Five Nights at Freddy's Balloon Boy. And I think I'm actually gonna D-tier it. Regular Mr. Mime, on the other hand, gets that hilarious, like, creepy in a good way, and is gonna go, I don't know if he's quite A tier. I feel like maybe Muck is. I'm gonna put Muck up one. But Mime can stay lead B. Really? Okay, so when we finish Kanto, I'm gonna have to clear this somehow. I haven't decided how. Oh, you can add rows though. Interesting. Okay, we're gonna play around with that, but I will get through Kanto first. Scyther is absolute A tier. Scyther is a boss. Scyther is super cool. And probably my sister's favorite Pokemon. So in my family, it's always just been one of those dear Pokemon, dear to all of us. One of those ones that we as a family have cherished for over 20 years. Jinx is hilarious. Jinx gets high up there. I think Jinx is a tricky one. Jinx is a lot like Mr. Mime, actually. I'm going to put them side by side. This is another one that I actually started to love even more when I crocheted it. So I crocheted Jinx almost a year ago. It was last January, I think. Or December even. Yeah, so almost exactly a year ago. And I crocheted Jinx. And I just loved how it turned out so much. I thought that it was so cool. The dress was so pretty. And the hair was so fun and flippy. Oh gosh, Jinx was great. And the fact that I made that doll definitely made me love the Pokemon itself more. I am quite a Christmas person, and the fact that Jinx is like canonically Santa's elves is so cool. And yeah, she's just a big old drag queen, and it's really funny. Electabuzz I have never liked. Electabuzz and Magmar, icky. Pinsir is cool, not as cool as Scyther, somewhere mid B. Tauros is just a bull. Magikarp, I feel like this one is one of those like fan Pokemon that, opposite of Pikachu, I almost like it more because I feel like I'm supposed to, but I don't like it as much as a lot of these Pokemon, so it'll just go somewhere mid B. Gyarados, honestly, same deal. It's like, it's cool, but it's not cool enough. Lapras, on the other hand, definite A tier Pokemon. Lapras is great. You get to ride on it, It's pretty. It's ice. It also can escort you to the North Pole to meet Santa. That's a pretty magical thing. I love Lapras. Ditto has earned itself high B purely on utility alone. The number of Pokemon I've bred with Ditto, I have exclusively bred with Ditto. I have never bred two Pokemon where one of them was not a Ditto. Thank you for your service, Ditto. Alright, now we have the Eeveelutions. This is another tough one. Eevee itself, what a cutie. But might just be a high B for me. He's got potential, and you value potential, but he's also not exciting yet, you know? Vaporeon, easy A. Easy. Top two Eeveelutions right here. Vaporeon is excellent. These two I have a harder time ranking. This is something I've thought about. It's something I go back and forth in my mind all the time. Which Pokemon do I like better, Jolteon or Flareon? And they're in like such, just like a standoff. They're locked in battle. I don't know. I guess what I will say is that it doesn't matter a lot because they're both like equally not my favorite. And I'm actually just gonna put them with Eevee. And I think for today at least, Jolteon will be above Flareon. Porygon is meh. Omastar is meh. Omanite is meh. Kabuto is cool just because it is literally, what is it, a horseshoe grab? The fact that we literally have these as actual things and like, it's just cool, you know? Like even something like Vulpix, yeah, we have foxes, sure, but this is like a very cartoon. This is like almost exactly. It's just what they are. I don't know. It's cool, and it's a fossil, and I like it. Kabutops, you can go up to B. Why not? Aerodactyl, you stay in C. Snorlax is impossible not to love. It gets all the good merchandise. It just wants to sleep. It's big and it's cuddly and it's a good color, but it's honestly, beyond everybody's adoration of it, also kind of boring. I mean, it's a normal type who doesn't really do much. I like it. It's high B, but eh. All the birds, I do not have strong opinions on any of the Kanto birds, and especially the Galarian ones. Like, I don't know. I never actually caught them in Sword or Shield. I caught one of them in Pokemon Go. They are a pain in the frickin' butt in Pokemon Go. So I think everybody, I think Articuno gets B tier. I think honestly Zapdos and Moltres, I'm gonna C tier them because I don't care about them. Galarian Zapdos is kind of funny because he's just ground bound like a little chicken. And yeah, that's about it. I mean, these guys are cool. Their designs are cool, I guess. Dratini goes to the top of my list. Dratini, I don't think it's quite A. I think it's high B. And Dratini gets most of its points from its size. Dratini, if you are not familiar with my work or Dratini's work, Dratini is 5'11". It is a massive little water tube. Like it's huge. And it is one of the first things that I personally made that actually got me a lot of attention. So I'm very grateful to Dratini for that. Because yeah, I crocheted a life-size one, and it's massive, and it's crazy. And if you haven't seen it, you definitely have to go and look for it on any of my other socials. It's here, like there's a short on it here on YouTube, so go see it, because it's as taller than I am. That being said, I always kind of liked Dragonair better, just because its design is so beautiful. It's like so graceful and yeah, just beautiful. But I don't have that history with Dragonair that I do with Dratini, so it'll go lower in B. Dragonite's a real cutie pie, I must say. Um, I think it'll also be like high B. He's a dragon, but he's goofy. He's very like Dragon Tales. Seems like a happy guy. Mewtwo? Mewtwo is such a guy. Like, he's a person. And so it feels mean to rank him amongst the Pokemon. But as a Pokemon, I don't know, he's just powerful. But he's not charming. He's not cute. He's really smart and really bitter, which, like, fair. Mew is top tier, though. But I guess Mew is almost top tier. S would be top tier. But Mew is an excellent Pokemon. Again, a little bit of a basic answer, I think. But just utter cuteness. And that is our first 151. So we've got these are our Kanto frontrunners. Squirtle, Raichu, Haunter, Tentacruel, and Lickitung. So before I move on, I'm gonna double check, like, should any of these A Pokemon actually, would I call any of these A Pokemon my favorite Pokemon? And I mean, maybe. Lapras is good. Alright, because I'm going to be clearing out the tiers anyways, just for the sake of my brain, there's no way that I would actually call Pikachu my favorite, or Raichu when I have a Alolan Raichu up there. Depending on who I'm talking to, sometimes the people asking me who my favorite is don't know much about Pokemon, so they won't know what I mean if I say Alolan. So Raichu would just be my answer if I picked Alolan Raichu. Neither here nor there. I can't say Scyther because that's somebody else's favorite, like I said, and we're gonna get to Scizor next, but I like Scizor better. I would never say that my favorite is Gengar or Wartortle. I don't think I would ever say Seal. I don't think I would ever say Slowpoke. I wouldn't cite Mew. Clefairy's a good one, but I don't like it better than my other S Pokemon. Wigglytuff is another one. And I think I'm actually going to take Squirtle down because I have other leaders. I would never say Squirtle over any of these Pokemon, I don't think. Just like I was saying before, for interest's sake. Because everybody knows Squirtle, everybody talks about Squirtle. And ooh. I think I'll leave those there for now. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave them. Now, if I delete row, wonder what happens if you delete the row. Do they don't go back. Interesting. What if I clear images? They do go back. No, wait, they didn't. They didn't go back. Interesting. This is good. This is helpful. These are all the Pokemon we hate, and I might just leave them. Because there are not enough of them that they're really causing a problem in terms of seeing the screen, but at the end we can look at them and laugh at them. Okay, I'm gonna clear out all the megas as well. This is the new B tier. Just to get them out of our way. Hopefully the stream will be cooperating by the time I'm done. I think it was lagging a little bit. Apologies to anyone experiencing that. Going up. What are your favorite Pokemon, chat? Have I already discarded them? Clear images. Excellent. Okay, so now we're on to Johto. Here we go. This is kind of exhausting, man. This is a lot of brain power. Trying to make up my mind about all of this. We may not get... Okay, at this point it seems unlikely we will get through all of the Pokemon. We will get through Johto and maybe Hoenn and see how I am feeling. If not, we might tune back in tomorrow for more of the later gen Pokemon or something. But any hoodle. Chikorita. Meh. It was kind of a dick. In the anime, I don't know. I did often start with this line, but that's because I love Bayleaf. Bayleaf is my favorite. Meganium is also kind of meh. Cyndaquil, though, is amazing. And Quilava is amazing. And Typhlosion is my least favorite of that line, but a good one. He's a very good boy. And I'll put him low A. Totodile? Seriously? I don't know why. I have never liked Totodile. This is the only generation where, like, not only do I like the fire type best, but I dislike the water type. I don't think there's a single other generation where I disliked the water starter. Yeah, I tend to be a water starter person. Like, without even giving it a second thought, but Totodile was a nope for me, to the point where I think Feraligatr is going straight into D tier. And maybe so is Crocodile. I don't know why I don't like them, but maybe I don't like gators. Yeah, you know what? Captain's pointing out he was pretty goofy. I do like goofiness. But he was also kind of icky goofy. He was like with Brock. Just fallen in love with everyone he laid eyes on, and I think I needed him to chill. But he can go to B tier for being cute, I guess. Sentry's good though. Sentret goes higher B, and Furret goes A. Furret's another long boy. And a cute and a cuddly one, and one that, you know, got its own meme soundtrack, and one that hopefully you will see from me in the new year. I have the yarn I need to make a Furret, and I'm excited for that one. Hoot Hoot and Noctowl are meh. Ladybug, I kind of like. Ladian, meh. Spinarak I do like though. Spinarak goes, I guess, top B tier. I don't know why. Again, some of these I just have feelings. He's also bigger than I thought, and I would love to make a Spinarak someday because he is also like 50 centimeters, I think. Like a nice big sized spider is crazy. And I don't even like spiders, but there's just something about him that's very charming. Ariados, I don't have that feeling. It didn't transfer over through evolution. Crobat's pretty cool. I put him up there. He's purple, he's got 4 wings now. Best of the Zubat line, probably. Better than Golbat, that's for sure. Chinchou and Lantern I'd also like. Johto it's almost one of my favorite generations. Like, I don't have a ton of strong opinions about a lot of Johto Pokemon in terms of like S-tiering them necessarily, but I just really like all of them a fair bit. Pichu is maybe S tier. It's too impossibly cute. And, oh, this is going to be hard. I love me some baby Pokemon. I think I'm actually going to leave it top tier A for now, but like, all of the babies are going up there. I don't even... Togepi and Togetic are tricky because I like them both a lot, but I also know that Togekiss is my favorite in the line. And somehow I feel like that affects how I rank them now. This one is so tricky. Togepi was so cute in the anime, it was so powerful in the anime. I made Crochet Togepi, and it was one of the cutest things I've ever made. But I don't know if, again, it just feels like a little bit too basic or something, like it's overexposed. And Togetic does have a weird neck, so we're gonna leave them in B. But like top B. Natu and Xatu are meh. I like Mareep, it's cute, but it's not special to me. I guess I'll just put this with it. Ampharos is cool. I'll put him up in B. Bellossom I like a lot. In fact, I might just put Bellossom straight to S. This one kind of tracks back to Pikachu's Vacation, I think it was called. It was the short that was before Pokemon 2000. Unless it was Pokemon 3. I think it was 2000. And they went into like the forest. And there was this giant tree. Did Pokemon 2000 have Johto? No. That was the start of Pokemon 3 that introduced Johto. So it must have been Pokemon. This isn't super relevant, but there was a short where Pikachu and the gang went into a giant tree, and there was a trio of Bellossom who greeted them with a little song. And I loved it so much, and as a child, I did that song and dance a lot. And I loved Bellossom ever since. And it kind of reprised that same dance. It did that same sort of thing in Pokemon The New Snap, which I really loved. So, Bellossom is great. Marill is also pretty great, but only B tier great. Azumarill might be even better, but probably still B tier. Sudowoodo is a dumb tree that I might just put in D tier. Low C, like, now I feel like he's mean. He gets in your way and he's a stupid rock. Skiploom too. Skiploom I've been tempted to almost put in D tier because it's just so weird. Like, look how cute, and he's just got this weird face, but maybe that makes me love him more. Politoed's a weirdo. He'll just go and C. Hoppip will go B. I've talked myself into liking Skiploom, but not enough for it to be above low B. And Jumpluff it's so fun. It's so fun because I think I would really like to make a Jumpluff. And then this would just be like, they would be the most massive pom-poms that I've ever made. Crochet the body and then just attach massive pom-poms. And that's enough for it to be a high B, I think. Aipom's also kind of a jerk. I have no strong opinions about Sunkern. Sunflora, I actually was won over a little bit by the gym challenge for Sunflora in Pokemon Violet. I really liked that. That's enough for him to go mid B. That was my favorite gym. I'm not at a point where I know the names of all the towns in Paldea yet, but Grasstown with Thorny Man. That's the one. Yanma's pretty cute. You can go mid B. Wooper is best boy. Absolute gem right there. There's nothing not to love about Wooper. And Quagsire, Like, Quagsire is another one that, like, I always kind of liked, because what's not to like? He's a goofy, fun boy. And then a friend of mine pointed out, I don't think it was even a dex entry, I think it was actually color text, like flavor text on a TCG card. And it, either way, wherever it was that I found this information, it basically said he just lays on his back and floats down the river, and sometimes he just smacks his head on rocks, but he doesn't care. It's like, it's just so ridiculous and lovable. And I don't know how to pick. Like, Wooper, I guess, is cuter. He's the low one. He doesn't even have arms. But then Quagsire, like, they're both so good. Espeon, I have always underappreciated for no real reason. But it's gonna go where Jolteon and Flareon were. Umbreon might be, like, this is another one, it goes up there with Squirtle. I love Umbreon a lot, and it's my favorite, but it just so happens that Umbreon is just everybody's favorite, so that's not a fun opinion to have anymore. But I do really, really love him. It's just so cool and dark and nighttimey. Like, I do love dark types, and also he's the bulkiest evolution, I believe. I know Sylveon has a little bit of bulk to it, but I love a good tank on my team. So I rely on Umbreon whenever I build. Like, I built an evolution team once. Back in XY, there were some little tournaments that they held, and one of them was that every Pokemon entered had to be from the Eevee line. And I led with my Umbreon every time. It was good times. I don't care about Murkrow. Slowking. This is another one. Galarian Slowking, kind of like Galarian Slowbro. I just don't think about it. Like, I never think about it. Never crosses my mind. Regular Slowking will go high B because he's funny. He was in Pokemon 2000. He didn't have pants. He wished he had pants. And anytime a Pokemon just stands up and, like, puts on a hat and just becomes a dude, like, he's just a person who can have full conversations. Like, psychic types are so wild. Mischievous I like. It's one of my favorite ghost types. I don't know if anybody would care enough. I could almost do a tier ranking, like, by type someday, and then I could have, like, a favorite Pokemon from each generation, and then I could have a favorite Pokemon from each type, and then I could, like, however specific people want to know my preferences, I could break it down. But I think it'll still just be high B. Unknown are weird. I don't have a strong opinion on them. They're fun, I guess, for, like, using as a font in the real world, but in the context of Pokemon, I don't have a strong opinion on them. I don't care about Wobbuffet a lot, either. He's also kind of goofy, lots of personality in the anime, but never left a big impression on me. Girafarig, meh. Pineco, meh. Fortress I like better for some reason. Dunsparce is a hilarious, funny dude. He goes up top. That one, again, a little bit of a meme. There's no point to it. It's just funny. And he's also really big. And I'll probably make a Dunsparce someday. It'll be like a giant body pillow thing. The Dunsparce tied it together. Like, I think the fact that they finally gave us a meme evolution to the meme Pokemon really just, yeah, solidified my love. But they got me. Gligar, I've always kind of liked. I'll go high B. Steelix I do not care about. I think I like it better than Onix, but that's about it. Snubbull is a fairy. That's all I need to say. Granbull's a fairy, but not cute. Quillfish doesn't matter to me. Scizor, S tier. And this is why I couldn't put Scyther in S tier, because Scizor is my favorite. I really like it. It's such a cool Pokemon. Like, it's Scyther, but better, almost. Like, Scythes to Clamps, maybe not the best move, but like, his design is so cool. and I don't know. I just like it. Steel Bug, so good, and hooray for Sizor. That one's gonna be like a strong runner, I think. And out of my like normal taste too, right? Like everything's cute and goofy and water and fairy, and then this is the Steel Bug who could absolutely mutilate a fairy type. And he's just cool and tough, but it really speaks to me somehow. And I guess I'm just gonna throw this in somewhere, the mega, so that I can clear it when I clear everything. Shuckle is funny too. Shuckle, like almost A tier as well, for having that like fun fact of being able to deliver the most damage out of anything. Like it's really special conditions. I'm not going to remember all the criteria. You should look it up because it's really funny, but it's like with the right held item, and you set up a trick room, and you set up like there's just a bunch of things where you end up like flipping. You massively like jack your defense, and then you flip your attack and defense, and then there's a certain move, and it is the most possible damage output in the Pokemon franchise, at least unless that has changed in the last gen or two. My information might be out of date, but it's just really funny to me that Shuckle gets to do that, and you know, anything with high defense I'm gonna kind of like. So I'm gonna leave him there at the bottom of A for now. Heracross, again, just gonna dump the mega somewhere. Heracross is cool. I think it hates Scyther, maybe. Or no, it's like Pinsir, but better. Does it have a feud with Scyther? I don't remember. I've always liked Heracross. But I think just high B like. Sneasel is cool. I know this is another one my sister quite likes, specifically because Silver has a Sneasel in the manga that's really cute. I'm here for Sneasel. It's good stuff. It's not like I don't feel the most strongly about it. Teddiursa is he's literally just a teddy bear, but he is one of the friggin' cutest Pokemon to ever exist. So it has to be up here with my babies. And then Ursaring, I'm like, wow, you could not be less cute, unfortunately. Like, that's a grizzly bear that they sucked all the cute out of. And, like, I almost want to put it in D tier just because it did that to Teddiursa, but I think it's only a C tier. Slugma and Macargo I don't really care about. I kind of like Macargo better. I don't know, he's neat. Swinub, I have been convinced is a cutie. So he can go like solidly B, higher up there. I never had strong feelings towards Swinub. I made one, again, bigger than I thought. But you know, he was pretty cute in Pokemon Snap. I've had people talk me into Swinub. He's good. Piloswine, dislike. Except, okay, fine. C tier. I dislike him until he flaps up his eye flaps, and then you see his little beady eyes, and then he's really cute. But any moment that he is not making that specific face, I dislike Piloswine. Cursula, so cool. What a cool design choice, like the Dead Sea or whatever. That was really cool. And I already liked Corsola to begin with quite a bit. So that was a really cool regional form, in my opinion. But, like, regardless, Corsola goes up to A. Remoraids, meh. Octillery is pretty meh. But just because Octopi are cool in general, I'm going to put them up to B. Delibird is another one that I really want to love so much. Like, I do kind of love him because he's Christmassy and because I am a sucker for Christmas. There's just not enough to push that love past B, but he is high B. Mantine is another one, like similar to Corsola, that I just always really liked. There's just something about it that struck a chord with me. Skarmory, not so much. Houndour, he's a good boy. A little bit angry, a little bit rough around the edges. Houndoom, similar. I mean, Hellhound is pretty cool. Hellhound is a pretty cool idea for a Pokemon. Kingdra, meh. Phanpy's pretty cute. Phanpy can go mid-B. Nothing much for him, but absolutely nothing against him. As I said, I just like a cute Pokemon. Donphan, I almost want to put D. I don't know. He's just messy, stirring up sand, and being angry and tusky, and I don't like Donphan. Porygon 2 is funny. They just like rendered him. So sure. Stantler I've never really cared for. You could also make the argument he's Christmassy, but Smeargle's kind of cool. Smeargle being an artist is fun. Fun enough, I think, to be a higher B. Tyrogue I also don't really like. I don't know. I think it's a similar problem to like Geodude. Like it's kind of muscly, but it's also like spindly, and he's a baby, but he's a baby who wants to be tough, and it just didn't work for me. just wasn't here for it. Which is, and I know a friend of mine is a big fan of Tyrogue. Again, if you've not seen more of my work, I made a Tyrogue this year. Around Halloween time, we did like a Santa secret swap for Pokemon names to assign each other Pokemon we had to make in our own art forms. And there we go. But Hitmontop was always an interesting one to me. It was also one of the Pokemon Stadium 2 mini games, which is a fun little Beyblade game. I don't know, the idea of the Pokemon being a top, he's just a better design than the other Hitmons, in my opinion, and he's by far my favorite Hitmon. Smoochum, I don't know. I don't think I can quite put her with the other babies. Maybe I should, because I like Jinx, and I love baby Pokemon, but she's such a little so-and-so. I like Smoochum, don't get me wrong. Smoochum's good. She's real cute, but she's also a little bit like Goldeen, just like a little bit too prissy maybe. And these babies, I've just never been able to love properly. I don't know, probably because I hated Electabuzz and Magmar. I mean, I like them both better than their basic evolution. But they're still kind of C tier. Miltank top tier. High A, dare I put Miltank in S? I don't think so. I think it belongs top A. Whitney's Miltank is hilarious. Everybody will remember that for forever. And there's something about its animation in Pokemon Go, and like the way it like bounces and jiggles itself is too funny. And it's very much like Lickitung. Like it's just this goofy thing that almost makes you a little bit uncomfortable, but it's cute and pink and squishy, and I like Miltank. Blissey, you want to talk about good defense stats. Blissey being the ultimate wall endears it to me. I love tanks. And this is another one. This is a lot like trying to... Funny, because these are kind of... the three dogs are almost like representations of the three Kanto Eevee, right? Like there's that whole Burn Tower, Kimono Girl lore thing where like the Eevees went into the tower and then they died, but then they came out as the dogs or something. Clearly I'm a little fuzzy on my lore, but there's something there. And I quite like all three of these dogs, and I've never been able to decide who my favorite is. And I usually flip-flop between Entei and Suicune. Because there's something I really like about Suicune. Obviously, like that water ice typing. The colors are really my style. The ribbons. I love a good ribbon. But there's something about Entei. It's like a proper lion. And the Pokemon movie 3 was so Entei. And now I'm looking at the three of them and thinking, like, I don't know, I kind of like Raikou. Maybe Raikou's my favorite. And I just call it that, and then I'm done thinking about it. I think I might do that. I'm just gonna give Raikou. The bottom line is that they're all, like, probably top B for me. I don't think I could push any of them into A. I just don't feel strongly enough about them. But they're excellent. They're like definitely my favorite trio, I think I'd have to say. Really, really good trio. Larvitar. What a grumpy little guy. He's just so angry. And I love it. Like, he's not as useless as a Magikarp, but to me, Larvitar is the ultimate wait until I grow up vibes. Pupitar is stupid and gets bottom C. I don't know why, because Larvitar is awesome, and then Pupitar is stupid, and then Tyranitar, heck yeah. I respect Tyranitar, and I think it almost, like, overall, I can see how it kind of deserves to be, like, an A tier Pokemon. In fact, maybe I will put him lower A. I just feel like Tyranitar is one of those Pokemon that, like, is somebody else's favorite and not mine, but I see why it's people's favorites, because it should be, because it's so good. And it's a really good fighter. I've had it on my teams. I definitely use it frequently in Pokemon Go. But it's just missing that something that makes it my favorite. Lugia is definitely one of the best legendaries. But I might just put it with the dogs. Like, I think they're very, very on par. Like, one of my all-time favorite legendaries, but it's similar to Tyranitar. Like, it's just missing something to make it mine. Ho-Oh is not. Ho-Oh is dumb. Mostly just because it's always put in the same category as Lugia, and, like, you're gonna face these two off? Please. Ho-Oh loses every time. And Celebi. I like Celebi. I tend to be fond of the mythics. Mythics over legendaries are often very, cutesy and just kind of a little bit of charm as opposed to any of that power and spice. So I tend to be fond of the mythics. But Celebi was never super important to me. I'm just going to put him like high B. And that's Johto, folks. That is Johto. So, I guess we'll do the same thing as before. Decide if anything needs to be moved into S territory. Ooh, pardon me. And I think, so this is going to be a similar process. Pichu and the Pichu brothers, they're really, 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 really cute. But I don't think I would ever call it my favorite for reasons. Same goes with Cyndaquil, because if I were going to pick a favorite, it would actually be Quilava and not Cyndaquil. Corsola was a super cool way to make a regional of Corsola, but I do like the original better. For all the reasons I just explained about Tyranitar, as amazing as a Pokemon he is, I would never call it my favorite. I really like Vaporeon, like a lot. But given that I put an Umbreon in S, I think it's time to retire Vaporeon. Bayleaf is cool. Typhlosion, again, if I've got Quilava there, I'm not going to use Typhlosion. It's getting tough. I don't think I would ever call Blissey my favorite either. I think it's an excellent Pokemon and an excellent wall, but there's not a lot that I have to say about it beyond stats. And as I mentioned at the very beginning of this stream, I have never been a competitive Pokemon battler, so that's just not enough. And I'm torn about some of these babies. I don't think I would ever actually call Shuckle my favorite. It's really cool, but that's okay. I'm really torn about Cleffa and Igglybuff, because I actually like Cleffa a lot better than Igglybuff aesthetically. I think it's just so cute, and like the little ears. It's basically Anya from Spy Family, but like 20 years earlier. I just realizing that she's a little Cleffa. Oh my gosh. But Igglybuff is really cute with his little squiggle on its face and everything, and I think when my sister and I would play Pokemon Stadium 2, and these were the baby Pokemon that were in the counting minigame, which is one of my absolute favorite minigames. It was so funny. And I think that usually as player 2, I was often Iggy-Boo. So as much as part of me wants to say I like Cleffa better, I feel like I identify more as an Igglybuff, which makes it tricky for me to pick a favorite. For now, I think I'll say Furret is not something I would just call my favorite. Nor is Teddiursa. As much as I love it, just cuteness alone, pure, infuriatingly over-the-top cuteness, is not enough. There's not enough substance to be my favorite Pokemon. And I think with that being back down to just one row, we will leave it there for now. So, let's clear out our B's and our C's and move on to Hoenn. Hoenn is where the starter Pokemon that just infuriates me for no reason that I can justify is Treecko. I hate Treecko. And it's hard to explain. I don't think he necessarily deserves it, but I think there's something icky about his design with his like ball fingers, and he was also kind of a jerk in the anime, and he wouldn't dance with them in Pokemon Gotta Dance. And I have just never liked Treecko. Grovyle I like better. Sceptile I also don't like. Like, I dislike it. I don't know, man. There was something wrong with this line in my mind. Torchic I do like quite a bit. The first time I ever played through Hoenn, Torchic was my starter. Combuskin is awkward. Awkward little fried chicken man. But Blaziken's pretty cool. I think Blaziken is actually a good, like fully evolved starter. I would use a Blaziken on the first time that we got our firefighting, so it wasn't played out yet. You know, I'm pro Blaziken. But Mudkip is best boy. In fact, maybe I will even put Mudkip S tier. For now, I think he's gonna suffer that same fate as Squirtle, because I just can't call any starter Pokemon my favorite. I'm sorry. But he's really good, and I really like Marshtomp. And I like Swampert. He loses the cute, but then the fact that he got this crazy Mega, like that Mega is just too funny. It's so funny. And not only is he just funny, but like he is Chris Redfield from Resident Evil 5, if anybody out there is familiar. But like he just jacked up a massive amount, and then his Pokedex talks about him punching boulders, which is such a Chris Redfield in Resident Evil 5 thing to do. So again, this is just too funny for me not to love. And yeah. So I do love him. And it's so the mega just helps this case. Sorry, I'm just double checking my stream again. I got an error pop up. We're gonna keep watching to make sure everything's okay. Okay. Poochyena. It's pretty simple. Nothing too exciting, but it was a good, like, Route 3 kind of Pokemon. Gen 3 and 4 are kind of tied for, like, my most childhood generation to me. Sorry. Just want to make sure everything's working okay. So there's a lot, similar to, like, even Johto, there's just a lot of Pokemon that I think fondly of. I thought this Galarian form was also really fun. Do I like it more than regular Zigzagoon? Maybe. Probably. Because I know that it turns into an Obstagoon, probably. And so it's gonna go, like, up here. But regular Zigzagoon's gonna be a close second. Linoone was good. Wurmple, probably maybe my favorite of the bugs. But that's not saying much. Silcoon, Cascooner, what? Beautifly. Kind of like Dustox, but not a lot. A lot, just like, you know, poison. Poison's nice. These ones, though. Lotad. Hybe. Lombre kind of has a bit of an ugly mug situation here that just didn't quite work for me. But Ludicolo. My man Ludicolo. Straight from Mayor B's party to my S rank. I love Ludicolo. And I definitely think that I need to make one someday, and I'm excited for it. And, like, maybe I can get Captain Steel to rig it so it can dance. I don't know. It's so good. He's like a pineapple with a sombrero that never stops dancing. Ludicolo is my dude. I don't care about C-Dot. Shiftry's kind of cool. I'll put Shiftry kind of mid-B. Taillow doesn't matter to me, nor does Swallow. Wingull and Pelipper are like low B, but they are B. They're water types. They've got a fun shiny. That's all I can really say there. Ralts. I like this line better since becoming fairies. I think they're good. Like, they're a strong psychic line. Curly a little more than Ralts. I do like Gardevoir. Not for the reason the rest of the internet does, which makes me feel like I can't like Gardevoir because everybody else on the internet does icky things with Gardevoir. But I don't know. It's a very lovely, graceful, beautiful Pokemon. I like that. It's got flowiness. It's got stylish hair. And the Mega, sure. It's a good Mega. Puffier skirt. Surskit, whatever. Masquerain, whatever. Shroomish is pretty whatever. Breloom's cool. I do like Breloom. I would definitely put it like mid-B. There's something fun about it. People like mushrooms. I can get behind that. Sloggoth is almost cute. Vigoroth is cool. There's something about, like, a middle Pokemon that is the fastest and most exciting of a line that I kind of like. You know, so often that middle Pokemon is just, it feels like a middle phase, but I don't know, this one was an interesting middle phase. Slacking, straight to D tier. Icky, gross, loafs all the time. Truant was a stupid ability. And he's got a pig nose that I don't like, and he's got hair that makes it look like he has sore teeth in a cartoon from the 20s, and he had to like tie up his, I don't know. There's just so much going on here, and I hate all of it. Nincada, I mean, I don't have strong opinions necessarily, but I do think that this line and how they like made Shedinja and Ninjask was really cool and clever, so I'll give them, you know, a mid ranking for being cool and creative. Wishmer, yes. So frightened, so cute, so something. But then Loudred happens, which is like, I don't even know. Low B, I guess. And then Explode happens, and everybody's upset. Look at it. It's such a monstrosity. I remember having one card that was Explode that I kind of wanted to build into a deck. Like, I low-key wanted to run that Explode for a long time, and I never made it happen. And, you know, that's the main thing I have in my brain when I think of this Pokemon. So, like, I liked that card, but I look at its design, and I just can't put it anywhere but D. With all the tubes coming out of it, like, Makuhita's kind of a cutie. I'm not one for fighting types, as you may have noticed. But being a punching bag is funny. But Hariyama, honestly, gave me the ick again. Azurill. He's a real cutie, and I have made, like, I've crocheted this one. It has a crochet card, trading card. He's a cutie, but I don't think I feel strongly enough to put him above high B. Nosepass is fine. I don't hate him enough for D, but he's not good. Skitty is good. Skitty is another one that's pretty big. It's like double the size of a Yamper, for example. Some of the other quadrupeds, it's double the size of a Litten. And that's cool. A giant cat, that's cool. And I always loved Delcatty. Like, as a kid, I really loved Delcatty because it's literally a cat. It's so fancy. And I love cats. So that was all it took. That was it. Delcatty's a good one. Okay, Sableye, S tier. And I think I have always loved Sableye. I remember, like, catching it in my very first playthrough of Sapphire. And it was an exclusive to Sapphire, if I'm not mistaken. And I always loved Sableye, and I feel like it has grown in popularity recently, and there's like this hipster catser somewhere inside me that's like, but I liked it first, and I don't like that now. To say that it's my favorite is just like a thing that people would say, and I'm not special for feeling that way, but I really do love Sableye. It's so cool. It's such a little gremlin, and it's made out of gems, and it's a good color, and it's such a little gremlin. And the fact that it got a mega made me happy. Mawile, I have always really liked, but I have a problem with it. I don't know if it's a Mandela effect, because as far as I know, I'm the only one with this problem, but I would swear to you there's like a glitch in the Matrix happened some point in time where they removed ice typing from Mawile. I would have put so much money if you had asked me to make a bet that Mawile was an ice steel type. And then they came along and they gave it a fairy typing, and I was like, what? It's not an ice type anymore? Like, I know there were a bunch of Pokemon where they added typings, but they didn't change typings. And then it was like this whole rabbit hole where I found out that it used to be pure steel, and I felt like I was taking crazy pills. So I really like Mawile, but I really like the steel ice type Mawile in my brain that doesn't exist. So I don't actually know where to put it in real life. But here we are. It's a really good Pokemon. It's a really cool design. It's really weird. It's like an edgelord samurai girl. But that's my little story. Aron's cute. Do like Aron. Wait, no, I don't like him that much. Hang on. Yeah. Somewhere around there. I did run an Aggron deck. I did really well with an Aggron deck. Playing TCG Battle Roads back in 2008. I don't like the evolutions that much, though. I think Aggron, I am going to buff up to a B because of the people who I love who love it. It would probably be a C just for me, but I don't want to disrespect Aggron. Aggron's just like Tyranitar that's worse in every way. Meditate and Medicham I also ran in TCG just because I had a Lucario deck and I needed other fighting types to fill it out, but I have never liked them that much. So they get like mid B tier. It could have been C, but those memories will honor those. Electrike, yeah, he's kind of around Poochyena. Like, he's cool. I like having this canine kind of two-stage electric types. That's good stuff. Minun and Plusle are up there. They're so fun. It's like they took the Pichu brothers and decided that they just have to be in the Pokedex now as brothers. I don't know. It's so cute. It's so cute. They're electric types, but like the regular electric clone that we get every generation. But this time they were actually like positive and negative charge, and they're colorful, and I like them a lot. Some of the best clones we ever got for sure. Volbeat and Illumise, I don't have strong opinions on. We'll even put them in C because I really don't care. Roselia, I like. This is a little bit like working with Togepi and Togetic. Roserade I like a lot. So Roselia I just kind of like now. Gulpin and Swalot are pretty meh to me. Carvanha's cool. Carvanha's pretty cool. Same with Sharpedo. I did not know that Sharpedo had a Mega. That's not new, is it? There's no way that's new. I clearly just missed it. That's cool, though. Wailmer and Wailord? I think I'm just gonna leave them mid-B. This is yet another one that is, like, massively huge. Even Wailmer. So, like, people ask me to make a Wailord because they think they're funny. I don't find it that funny. Wailord's huge, and everybody knows it's huge, and it's this whole, like, meme about how it's like a blimp. Like, the density of a Wailord is lighter than air, and it's really silly how big it is without even being heavy. But even Wailmer, because it was like a compromise, right? It was like, if I can't make a Wailord, maybe I'll just make the Wailmer. But the Wailmer has a diameter of like 10 feet or something outrageous. It is too much. So no, I don't think I will ever make that. Well, never say never. I may make the Wailmer someday, but not in this house. Like, only if I have a commercial space to fill up someday, because it wouldn't fit in this house. Numel's pretty meh. Camerupt is actually kind of gross, but Torkoal's kind of cool. Spoink has a really dark Pokedex entry, which is just something, you know, it's just like interesting, right? But Grumpig is meh. Spinda is up there. It's like a teddy bear like Teddiursa, but with like borderline infinite unique patterns, which is so cool. I was reading facts about that one a little while ago on, I don't know, it was like a Tumblr post or something, or who knows, but they were talking about just how many pixel variations they programmed for Spinda to have in Ruby Sapphire, and it is outrageous how many unique Spinda there were, which is so cool. And then they brought it to Pokemon Go, and it obviously has much more finite variations, but they're pretty darn cute. Like, they gave it panda eyes, or they gave it a little heart spot. Like, they're good. They're good designs. And where are we? Here, let me just throw all the megas out of the way. Trapinch. This is a pretty good line. This is a highly favorable line to me. I think it's all going to be pretty high B. I think that's where, because like even Vibrava I like quite a bit. And Flygon is one of my favorite dragons, I think. I don't know if Flygon has pseudo-legendary status. That's more of like that would be your Garchomps and Tyrannitars, and I'm trying to think in this generation. Oh, okay, it would be like Metagross. So I don't pay enough attention to know if it is on par with something like Salamence based on stats. I know that it is like the rival of Salamence kind of based on anime stuff. But I like to think that it's good enough. So if it is a pseudo-legendary, it's one of my favorite pseudo-legendaries. If it's not, he's just a guy that I like, I guess. Cacnea is cool. He was fun in the anime. I guess Cacturne is cool, because he's kind of like a scarecrow puppet thing. I like dark and creepy puppets. That's a trope I fall for. Swablu and Altaria, you know, they're pretty cool. They got the fairy thing, they got the really puffy thing. Altaria actually has one of the coolest crocheted trading cards, which I think earns it a spot high B. Swablu I like marginally less. Zangoose is really cool. Zangoose I'm putting A tier. I like Zangoose a lot. It's like a grumpy little kitty. He was the one thing about Ruby. The one thing Ruby has going for it, because I'm like through and through a Sapphire player. And I will defend a lot of the Sapphire exclusives, but Ruby got Zangoose, and Seviper just does not hold up. Lunatone and Solrock I don't care about a lot. Barboach is meh. Whiscash, whatever. Crawfish. I don't care about a lot of these ones. Liveleaf and Cradily, though, they are goofy fossils. They are suggestive and hilarious, and actually seeing Cradily in New Pokemon Snap was really cool, and it was the first time in my life that I realized that the eyes are on the sides and that these are decoy patterns. And I move up a little bit. I like Cradily. I think it's my favorite fossil Pokemon of all time. Anorith, I don't care about. Feebas is meh, kind of ugly. Milotic, I like a lot. Probably even A tier. Another one that I would be excited to make one of these days. Really big. I think it's like 12 feet long or something. But just so beautiful. And Cynthia had one, and Cynthia is a champ. The champ. I like Milotic a lot. Castform, I don't care. You're all just meh. Kecleon is pretty meh. High meh, I guess. Shuppet, I don't care about a lot, but Bayonet I do like. This is where I was going to with that whole like I like creepy puppets thing. Bayonet works for that. So I'm actually going to put it like pretty high B tier. Yeah, that's one of my favorite tropey things is those creepy puppets. Duskull's pretty cool too, actually. I've always really liked Duskull. Dusclops, less. Tropius I feel like I used to love and then I kind of grew out of it, stupid little banana neck. So I'll balance that out by putting him low B. Chimecho, Chimecho, well, people have different opinions, but I don't like calling it Chimecho, so Chimicho is fine. Cool design, actually. Like, I made one, and maybe it's cooler than I think. I like what it's based on. I like what they did with it in Legends Arceus. He can stay. Absol, pretty cool. Pretty cool. I don't think he's cool enough to be A in my books, but he's a pretty badass Pokemon. Wynaut is fine. Snorunt is fine. Glalie is fine. Spheal is a very good boy. Spheal I'm going to drop at the bottom of A. And maybe, I don't know. He belongs somewhere in A for sure. He's a cutie. You know, I think I've always liked Spheal, and just the fact that he is a sphere seal that they called Spheal is cute and charming and silly enough to like him. The addition of mannerisms to games like Arceus and being able to see a Spheal roll up to you and like bounce back and forth and be a little cutie pie is too precious. That was extraordinary. The rest of its line I don't really care. In fact, I think Celio can just go wherever meh, but Walrein is actually going to join the D's. It took a precious baby and it got too ugly. Clamperl I do like, and Huntail, yes. Huntail is by far my favorite. Gorbis is lower, like maybe even meh tier. And Relicanth I like a lot. Relicanth definitely belongs here with like Absol and Flygon. Would it even go A tier? I don't know. Maybe not. There's some really good Pokemon in A tier right now, but there's just something, and it's a little bit like Kabuto, I guess, because it is kind of like a Coelacanth, and it's I don't know, but there's something about it, and I do remember catching one in Sapphire. It was on the seafloor after using Dive, and yeah, that one's just always been kind of dear to me as well. Love Disc is meh. Bagon is meh. I'm sorry. Shogun. Salamence, I have never liked as much as I probably, I guess, should. I don't know. He's just not special to me the way that other Pokemon are, even though he's technically cool. He's very much like Aggron. He's very Aggron. Which I guess means I should bump him up here. Okay, there you go. He's a B. He's a B, everybody. I kind of feel the same about Metagross. Beldum is meh. Metang might be my favorite. And I think I'm supposed to like Metagross, but I just, like, these three are such a trio about how I feel about them. They're the big ones, the big tough pseudos from Hoenn that I just don't care about because I'm too busy liking every other Hoenn. This is maybe my least favorite. No, I can't say they're my least favorite trio because we still have to talk about the Unova trio eventually, but the Regis just don't do it for me. Ice is my favorite because ice, but super meh. Latias is great. And Latios is great, but not as great. I think a lot of legendaries in my mind, for whatever reason, like they don't count. Like they're too obvious of a choice to love a legendary because they're set up to be special and they're set up to be strong, and I would rather I would rather be the person who says a baby Pokemon is my favorite than the person who says a legendary is my favorite. But these two are really good. Worth the roaming. Kyogre? Kyogre is definitely an A. And guess what? Groudon isn't. Groudon can go somewhere in B, because Kyogre is a superior legendary from Hoenn. And then Rayquaza. Honestly, I think I'm gonna put Rayquaza with these, like, clearly there's something I'm supposed to love, and I'm just not seeing it. Like, it just missed me. I don't know. Shots fired on a sunny, hot world. How about that? Kyogre brings the water. But, yeah. I don't know. Sky Noodle can just do what he wants. And I don't need to concern myself with it. But then here we finally have one of my go-to favorites. So I think I mentioned earlier on that when people ask me what my favorites are, I have a couple Pokemon that I default answer. One of them is Jirachi. I am a big fan of Jirachi. I really loved that movie. I really, really loved Jirachi's Lullaby. Oh, that track was awesome. Yeah, Wishmaker, there's something about it that's just so magical. And it's also very cute. And yeah, despite being, like, this is, again, I kind of feel like saying a legendary or a mythic is almost like a cop-out. Like, of course that's your favorite, but Jirachi is very special. Deoxys also kind of missed it for me. Like, the fact that it's named after DNA is cool. I'm a big fan of, like, genetics and stuff. I did a microbiome undergrad, like my minor, so I really like DNA, but there's just something about the design of Deoxys that didn't cut it for me. And he was a crazy space alien, and I don't care about any of the forms, really. He's got a silly looking head. So I'm gonna put Deoxys meh. And that will close out Hoenn. Now, for our normal sweep here, I think I like Wishmare. But again, it's not special enough. I just needed that moment in the sun, but it can go now. I'm looking, and, like, same with Bayleaf. Like, I do really like Bayleaf, but does it belong here? And probably Quilava too. Magnet and Plusle. Do I leave them where they are? Because I could never say one of these Pokemon is my favorite without the other, that makes them not good contenders for the role of favorite Pokemon. Like, even if I were building a team or something, I don't think I would spend 2 party slots on them. So they're also not competitive at all. What am I saying? I wouldn't really put them in a team. They know Helping Hand. That's it. So I think I'm gonna drop them. Zangoose is cool, but he's a little bit like Scyther in that I don't think he's my favorite Pokemon. I think I like him a lot, but he is more so like my sister's favorite Pokemon than even mine. And maybe that'll do for now. You know what? I really like Corsola, but again, I don't think I would ever call it my favorite Pokemon. Yeah, okay. I'm happy with that for now. Question is... Hello? Do I keep going? Maybe I stop for now. How many generations are there? We've got So I've been through 3. I've only been through 3 of them in the God, how long have I been here? With all the troubleshooting and all that, but I want to be able to go and do raid hour when that happens at 6. So I think we have time to get through Sinnoh, and then I might need to stop. So let me just take a quick look here, make sure everything's looking good. Okay, so Sinnoh, look at how far it goes. Oh, that's cool. So it just, gotcha. When you clear a row of Pokemon, it puts them back in the list, but at the bottom of the list, which is helpful. Yes, we've got everything. We've all the way through up to like, what's the word I want? Mask. Teal Mask and everything is in here. Holy moly. Well then. Now the generations do start getting smaller past this point, right? I think. So there are, what, 9 generations now, and I've only done 3, but I've probably done like half of the Pokemon. Is that true? Anyways, okay. This is a tough one. Turtwig. Turtwig was popular. Oh, see ya. Carol, thanks for stopping by. I'm glad you were hanging out. Oopsies. Go back. I ruined... I have chat on my screen and now I've made it disappear. Oops. It's okay. I'll keep an eye on chat somewhere else. Feel free to keep chatting. There it is. I can see it again. I'm getting the hang of this streaming thing bit by bit. Right, so Turtwig I think was a popular one. I think Gen 4 was very divided, specifically between Piplup and Turtwig. And nobody loved Chimchar, and that's okay. I can't say I loved Turtwig. I liked Turtwig. I did not like Groddle, and I actually did not like Torterra. Groundgrass, I don't know, people have tried to convince me that it was a good duo, but like, he's just a turtle with like he's a whole island. He's got a tree on his back. It's not cute. Chimchar, I guess, was cute. Monferno was not. You can be a low B. Infernape, he was a good, what's the word, like a close combat slave is basically how I used him. I put him in and I just drained all of the close combat PP and then I swapped him out. And you know, playing through Diamond, I did have all 3 starters, so I did use them all, but there's only one that I ever truly loved, and that was Piplup. Piplup, I feel like once upon a time I might have only put top A tier, but I was recently informed that Piplup is my favorite Pokemon, and I can run with that. I do love Piplup a lot. Had pretty strong feelings. So I've never been a Prinplup fan, but yeah, Piplup could be my favorite, and Empoleon is also pretty awesome. Water Steel was a really cool typing to have in that gen, and that was another. So the Lucario deck that I ran back when I was actually competitive in Pokemon TCG as a child, it was a Lucario Empoleon deck. That was like my standby, and I really loved that deck. So good vibes to Empoleon. By far the best ultimate Sinnoh starter. Starly's fine. Bidoof is actually going straight to A. Because the Pokemon Company wanted us to love him, and they succeeded in convincing me to love him. The shorts that they gave him, Bidoof Day, and like that whole marketing, like, I don't even know what the point was, but that whole campaign was so good. So I do love Bidoof now very much, but Beryl, I don't. It can stay low B, just because of the shenanigans you get into with like teaching it surf and watching people infinite spawning it to turn it into a bridge in Arceus. Like, it's got some shenanigans, but it's not Bidoof. Kricketot, I'm kind of meh on. Kricketune, I'm gonna put it at the top of B because it's got that goofy cry. Shinx is jumping up to S. And this is a tricky one. I think Luxio is great. It's actually a pretty good middle stage. And I had a bunch of the same Luxio card, and I had the pre-release version. And I had like a whole page in my binder devoted to Luxio and all the different versions of it I had. But Shinx and Luxray are really showstoppers here. And it's so hard for me to pick between them when Shinx is the most precious cutie pie in the world, and Luxray is so friggin' cool. I don't know how to prioritize my feelings. I just love them both. And here we go, Roserade. I'm gonna put it up in S. It might only be a high A, but I really like Roserade, and I'm not a huge fan of grass types, generally speaking. So when there's often a gap on my party for grass types, and Roserade is how I love to fill it, and Roserade is so good in Pokemon Go. It's just a really cool Pokemon. He could be a Phantom Thief. Look at him. Badoo is actually pretty cute. I like this baby, but only high B like. I was meh on every fossil from this gen. I'm very meh on Burmy. No real opinion. Wormadam was a little bit cooler. I don't know, it's pretty or something. I'm gonna put Trash Cloak at the top of C because it's funny to me that it's cloaked in trash. But that's all I got. Mothim I did not care about. Combee is cute. Vespiquen's cool. I'll put Vespiquen high B. You know, it's a queen bee, and her dress is the honeycomb. Like, I don't know. Pachirisu I liked. That'll be a high B as well. I believe, you know, it's the clone, the Pika clone for this gen, but it was different. It was one of the slightly more distinct of the Pika clones. It's a bit more squirrely than it is mousy, and I don't know. I like Pachirisu. Buizel is my other go-to. Jirachi and Buizel were the two defaults I had. I really love this Pokemon an awful lot, and I gotta say that making it this past year, crocheting it, has only made that, like, the fact that I have it in life size, it makes me love it more. And I actually painted a Buizel on my wall when I was a teenager. Like, I was decorating my room and doing my own custom paintings, and I painted one of the card art designs on my wall, and Buizel's just a really great Pokemon. So good. So good. But Floatzel? I have never liked Floatzel. Which is so sad because, you know, it's nice when you have something like Shinx where, I really want to have a Shinx on my team, but then, like, it's gonna evolve, and it's like, that's okay, because then I have a Luxray on my team, and I like that too. But like Weasel obviously is not going to be super viable if you don't evolve it, but I never wanted to evolve it because there's just something I don't like about Floatzel. I think it's something about the face. It's got like a crinkly face. I don't know. I don't know, man. And like the cute little inner tube neck just turns into like a shoulder towel. I think they did Weasel dirty. Cherubi is fine. Cherrim's pretty darn cute. He's such a happy guy. Sad Cherrim is not as happy. Shellos and Gastrodon I quite like. I think West Coast. I think I know which one's which. West Coast I actually don't care about a lot, but East Coast are high up there. And Gastrodon is one of the Pokemon that is opposite. Part of the reason why I like it is because of how small it is. And I always think in my mind, I pictured it almost like Lapras, like, right? Like this big thing. And he's just a little guy. Like, so I'm going to make a Gastrodon one of these days. I think he's a meter tall, which is not much. 3 feet, you know. He's not a big guy. You can't ride him, I guess is the point I'm getting at here. Ambipom, not quite a D, but pretty icky, honestly. Drifbloom and Drifbloom. C or A? S or A? S or A? I don't know. They're so good. They're so good. They were on my team when I played through Diamond, and I probably did the most grinding in Diamond. They're so good. I don't know. It's just... And they had the really spooky Pokedex of like carrying children away, and they've got a really good shiny. I don't know. These are great Pokemon. Excellent ghosts. Buneary, I like. Buneary's super cute. I don't like Lopunny. And I think it would be like a low C, but I'm actually going to plop it down in D just because the internet's gross. And what I thought was always like, that's kind of weird. They sort of sexualized that bunny. Turned into like ick. So much ick. Miss Magius, I like a lot. Probably not quite A. But I already liked Mischievous quite a bit, and I think this is a fun evolution. Honchkro's cool, but like mid-B cool. Glammeow is a cutie pie. We'll do high B, and same with Purugly, because this is the progression of cat. They go from this precious little cutie to like clomping around the house and a bit of a huff sometimes. Maybe this reminds me of my cat. Who can say? But I do like them. They're very cat. Chingling is also so cute. So cute. Who doesn't love a good baby? And Stunky and Skuntank. Ooh, this is another one. I'll have to make up my mind by the time we get to the end of the generation, but I'm actually going to put them both S tier. Because this is another one that I can't decide which I like better. And I really like this line. I know they're obviously skunks, but I see this and I see a kitty. I see like a black and white cat. And they're poison types. And I did have a Skuntank on my team in Diamond for a long time. I'm pretty sure I benched it towards late game because it was getting outclassed. Kind of reached its potential limit, but I do still really love that Pokemon, and someday maybe I'll build a TCG deck around it again. Bronzor and Bronzong. Oh yeah, I tried to use these in my original Diamond playthrough, and it was terrible. My god, the attack stats are so friggin' low. Oh, I couldn't believe how little damage I was doing. It was outrageous. Bonsly's pretty cute. Bonsly's way cuter than Sudowoodo. And Mime Jr.? Precious. Precious, precious. And Happiny, oh my gosh, the fact that this little baby just carries around a rock, pretending, playing make-believe every day. Ugh, so precious. Chatot, I do not care about. Spiritom's pretty cool. I don't think I've ever formed enough of a bond with Spiritomb to push it past B, but I do like it a lot. And I think there's a lot to like about it. Actually, you know what? Fine. I'm going to put it bottom A. And now we're on to the Gibbles. Okay. So. I'm actually going to put Garchomp in S tier. And this is, I think, going to fall by way of, like Squirtle and stuff, where I don't think it'll stay perma S, because I guess it's also kind of like Tyranitar. It's like, it's not my favorite, but it is just objectively one of the best. It's a really good dragon type with a really cool design and really good typing, and it was Cynthia's slugger. Garchomp is a good Pokemon. Like, if I had to pick the best Pokemon, not my favorite, but the best, Garchomp is in the running. Gible doesn't matter. Sorry, Gabite. Gabite doesn't matter. But Gible is super cute. So I think Gible gets to be in A. And full-powered Garchomp goes straight to S. Munchlax is, like, I think I gave my opinions about Snorlax back whenever we were in Kanto, so I like Munchlax, but I don't think he's very special. Riolu is pretty special. I think Riolu goes lower A, and Lucario goes S. Which is also not like a hot take. Everybody loves Lucario because Lucario is objectively great, and they, use Lucario a lot in the games. If I'm not mistaken, I think Lucario may be our very first introduction to Megas, which I thought was really cool because that deck that I've mentioned a few times that I ran was actually a level X Lucario deck, which I thought translated to Mega pretty well. Like, a level X and a Mega are basically the same concept in a way. So I thought, Mega Lucario was really cool. Everybody did, but I especially did, And of course I have had Lucarios on my team. Definitely used it in X, I'll tell you that much. Hippopotas, I don't care about. Hippowdon, I don't care about. Skorupi is cute, but I don't care about it. Drapion's kind of nightmare fuel, honestly. I think I'm just gonna throw it down there, because it's got, like, accordion arms coming out of its ears. It's spooky. Croagunk and Toxicroak, I kind of disliked too. This is another one that somebody who is a fan of these two convinced me to maybe reconsider them. But I don't think that reconsiders getting them above, like, a low B, high C. But it is keeping them out of D. You know what? They're not in D tier. Carnivine, I think that's pretty meh. Finneon's really pretty. Lumiose? I don't quite remember what that Pokemon's called, but it's really pretty. Mantike is cute as heckin' heck. And for as much as I love Mantine, he's still sitting. Oh, did I bump Mantine? No, it's right there. He's in A. Okay. Yeah, Mantike is a precious little baby. Snover and Abomasnow, dude, like, I believe Snover actually has the Pokemon cry that I always think is Sudowoodo. There's a cry that I had in my brain as Sudowoodo's cry for a long time. And then I was trying to convey that at one point. I was like, something reminded me of that sound. And so I looked up the Sudowoodo cry to play it, and it was not the one in my brain. And so then at that point, it was like me just feeling like I had to figure out what it was and just listen to every Pokemon's cry until I came across it. And it turned out it was Snover. But the cry is the only thing I like about it. I don't like that his mouth is down here and it's like his whole body. I don't like that this angry tree doesn't even have a trunk. Like, at least he's pretending to be a trunk. I don't know. I think Abomasnow's a D tier for me. Snover, at least Snover is a guaranteed excellent throw in Pokemon Go. And it makes the cry I like. Weavile, I think, is really cool. Weavile, I think, was a really good evolution to Sneasel. Like, it's a very kind of linear, just enhanced version of Sneasel. I'm a pretty big fan of Weavile. Magnezone, I'm not. I think it lost a lot of the charm in some ways of what Magnemite and Magneton were. It's a good electric type attacker. I use it in Pokemon Go, but it's pretty meh. Licky Licky goes up there with Lickitung. They have all the exact same traits. I don't know, but with like a goofier head. And so I'm not sure if I like Licky Licky better because it's just that extra step. It is beyond ridiculous. They are just piling on the ridiculous with Licky Licky. Or if I just like the classic simplicity of Lickitung. That's a hard one for me to decide because, like I said, they've got all the same traits basically. Everything I like about one is true of the other, but I don't know. It's almost like Dunsparce before they had made Dunsparce. Like, there was a whole movement of people talking about how Dunsparce was overdue for an evolution. We never had a chance to ask for a Lickitung evolution. Nobody asked for Licky Licky. But he's the hero we got. And yeah, I don't know. So silly. And I love him. People hated on Gen 4 for this, like, rash of new evolutions that we're getting to now. But I actually liked all of them. I mean, I think every single one of them was an improvement on the Pokemon it evolved from. Except for, like, maybe not Lickitung. I don't know. They're basically the same. But, like, everything else. I like Rhyperior best. Not a lot. But it's better than Rhydon in my mind. Tangrowth is kind of like Licky Licky. Like, it just took it's the same, but even more outrageous and ridiculous. It's so funny. It's so massive. And it's still just a tangle of nothing. I like Electivire. Despite delisting Electabuzz, and I think probably C-listing Elekid, I like Electivire. It's going like mid-B for me. I still dislike Magmortar. There's nothing that this line could do to actually earn my love. Magby's as close as it gets, and I think we B or C listed that too. Togekiss, S. Like, this is one of my absolute favorite Pokemon now. I always liked the Togepi line, but this is such a powerful fairy that I don't think I ever used in a main series Pokemon game, but it's my absolute go-to in Pokemon Go these days, for sure, for fairy types. I have really, really, really grown on Togekiss. Yanmega's cool. I don't even remember how we ranked Yanma. Like, mid-cool. Some new evolutions. Always tricky. I like them. But when it comes to Eevees, you know, these two fell a little short for me. They're probably my bottom two evolutions. I don't know. Maybe I might put Glaceon above Espeon. They're good. I like them. Every evolution is good, but it's a tough game. There's a lot of lovable Pokemon out there. Gliscor is really cool. Gliscor goes up there as well. And you know what? I think I take back. There are a couple exceptions. I forgot that there were even more tacked on evolutions to come. Because I don't like Mamoswine. Mamoswine. I mean, it's not like I liked Piloswine that much either. Clearly. Because it was just a narrowly avoided D tier. I think I just don't like woolly mammoths. I don't know. They're big and they're not cute, and he's got goofy eyes, and bleh. Swinub is the definite winner of that lineup. Porygon Zed is really funny too. I don't know what to say other than like they stopped counting. They went in a different direction. Doing dimensions now. Gallade's pretty cool though. Gallade was a fun addition to the Ralts line for sure. Probopass made Nosepass worse. I do not like Probopass. Dusknoir is fine, but I like Duskull better. Frostlass is pretty cool. Frostlass is, I don't know. It's a spooky, ghosty, icy boy. It's cool. And I'm pretty meh on Rotoms. I don't know. There's a few versions. Like, it's Rotom, okay, Rotom itself is pretty cool. I like the idea of a ghost possessing stuff. I'm gonna put it here, like high B. But in terms of individual, I don't have strong feelings about any of its individual forms. The mower's kind of funny, and maybe I'll put the washing machine like a row up above the others because it's a water type. But Rotom itself is really nifty, and they're definitely maybe even overplaying their hand a little bit with Rotom and the Pokedex, the Rotom Dex and all that stuff, but really, really cool idea. This trio, I didn't care a ton about this trio either. I like Mesprit, I like Azelf. I think Azelf's my favorite. Then I'll go like mid-B. Uxie will go, like honestly, I don't care. They're whatever. Dialga's really cool though. Dialga is an A-tier Pokemon. I'm a diamond person through and through. Dialga's really cool. It's got some really, really powerful dragon attacks. It's one of my better dragons in Pokemon Go as well. And I think, kind of like Ho-Oh, Palkia super dropped the ball. Palkia's lame. I don't care much about Heatran either. That's pretty meh tier. Regigigas, I guess can be high C, but like, I didn't like the Reggies, so how much was I gonna like Regigigas? Giratina's cool. I don't have strong opinions between the two forms. I don't remember the significance of the two forms, really. They're different, I guess. Giratina's cool, but I'm only gonna put it like high B. And honestly, it comes after some of these Pokemon. Yo, howdy, Dynamo! Tuning into the end of Sinnoh here. I've been mostly clearing the ranks. There's a lot of like mid stuff from every generation that I don't have a lot of strong feelings about either way. So we've been clearing B and C with each generation, but S, A, and D have been sticking around just for honor and dishonor, respectively. Cresselia's cool, I guess. I don't know. I didn't have strong feelings on it either. Never used it on a team. Spent a lot of time hunting it down. It's quite pretty. I like the design a lot, actually. Like the rings and everything. Manaphy and Fion, I feel like I missed out on because I didn't play Pokemon Ranger. And I feel like that's the only place they really had a presence. It was interesting to actually have a mythic with a baby. And I knew someone at my Pokemon League when I played as a kid who really, really loved this line, but I don't think that puts it beyond a B for me. It's the mythic I feel like I know the least about, maybe. Except for, like, maybe Meloetta or something. Darkrai's cool, but not in a way that speaks to me. Darkrai can go with Cresselia. Shaymin's cute. I actually don't know a lot about Shaymin either, but I do like it. I like it when it's a hedgehog best. You go top of B. And once you become some kind of anime protagonist, you can go hang out with Manaphy. Okay, well, you know what? Captain makes a good point in the comments. Darkrai does have legs that we don't know about. Well, now we know about it. We weren't supposed to know about him. I'm sure you can find this image if you look for it, but apparently Darkrai has legs that are, like, edited to be invisible or something. Like, they're there in the program. Because maybe they didn't know how to make Darkrai float or something, but then they just kind of chameleoned the legs. I guess that can put it a little bit higher for being goofy. Swoop. Arceus is pretty boring for being the god of everything. It can have every type, and there's definitely some fun shenanigans with that in TCG, because you can get an Arceus of every type. But, yeah, all I know is that he's like some kind of goat that got stuck in a fence, and there we are. Victini is fun, though. Victini is a little apple, and I think that gets him up with Shaymin. Victory Pokemon. And that does it for Sinnoh. So we can clear out that row, and then we'll take a look at what needs to be shifted. I feel like I should make up my mind between some of these evolutions, but I can't. I just can't make up my mind. I think I'll pick the more evolved most of the time. So that means I'm gonna keep Drifblim and Skuntank. I don't know about this though. Shinx versus Luxray. Someone's gonna need to make a compelling case for one of the two of those in chat, because I just can't make up my mind between the two. Even Wooper and Quagsire, this is tough, but our S tier is just getting so big. I think it might be time to drop Mudkip. Like I was saying, it's hard for starters to really stay in S tier. They're not a well-kept secret. They're not special. I really love Mudkip. He's probably my #1 all-time starter of anything. Squirtle's really good too. Piplup's really good too, but I feel like Mudkip's really ubiquitous. You know, the community can agree on Mudkip. But I would not tell people that he's my favorite. That's not something that I would probably say. And I might drop Garchomp down. Like I say, he's one of the best Pokemon, but I would never tell someone he's my favorite Pokemon. He belongs to other people's opinions. Oh yes, and Megas we're gonna take out of the list. Okay, so we got a lot of good Pokemon on here, and we are up to 5th gen. That being said, how big is 5th gen? Because I need to be able to go out for raid hour in like 20 minutes. There's a lot of Pokemon left here. And it's going to get trickier. The later we get, the less attachment I have to a lot of these Pokemon. There's some really good ones that came out in later generations, but because I feel like it was a less central part of my life, maybe, I didn't grow an attachment to all of them the same way I did with the earlier Pokemon. But I think I might need to leave it here for today, like I said, because I have a raid hour to do, and this is a good pausing point. So I think what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to leave this window open on my computer. I don't need to close this or restart or anything. I'll just leave it exactly as it is. And then maybe even tomorrow we'll pick up right here where we left off. And I'll have some time to think. I'll spend the night deciding on a few of these Pokemon, how I feel about them. We'll pick between Shinx and Luxray by tomorrow. And yeah, so we'll have gens 5 through 9 to go through tomorrow. And then once we are left with our like final top S tier, there's going to be too many Pokemon there for me to really make up my mind about one true favorite. But I will be able to start breaking down like favorites from generations and favorites from, I don't know, types and categories. And I think what we'll do is that from my S tier Pokemon, I'm going to put together my ultimate team. So I'm going to pick 6 Pokemon that are going to be like the official Katzer's Pokemon team. And then starting in the new year, I can start making them so that I have real life-size versions of my proper team. And that's going to be really, really cool. And I'll put together the team in like Violet or something, and then I can battle people with it. I'm getting ahead of myself. But yeah, so thank you for everybody who tuned in. I knew this was going to be a long process. We made good progress. And this is exactly why I do it, because Pokemon like Bellossom that I really, really love are Pokemon that I always forget about when people put me on the spot. So, yeah. So this is where we're leaving off for today. And I hope to see a bunch of you back again tomorrow to see the conclusion of it. We're getting into there's some good late game Pokemon. We're going to get Clodsire eventually. And that's going to be an S tier. So, have a good night, everybody. Happy raiding if you also do Raid Hour. And, yeah, see you soon.